I never actually saw the man's face, and honestly, I think that's the reason I'm still alive. Back in 2021, I moved into a cheap apartment complex in Milwaukee after getting a new warehouse job. The place wasn't great. Old building, thin walls, flickering hallway lights, but rent was cheap, and I mostly worked nights anyway. The apartment above mine had supposedly been empty for months. At least that's what my landlord told me. But almost every night around 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear footsteps above my ceiling. Slow footsteps, like someone pacing back and forth. At first, I ignored it. Old buildings make noise. But after about 2 weeks, the sounds started getting weird. The footsteps always followed the exact same pattern. Back and forth, back and forth. Then, suddenly, they'd stop directly above my bedroom and stay there, completely still, for minutes at a time. The first time it happened, I remember staring at my ceiling, thinking maybe the upstairs tenant was just standing there. But eventually, I started noticing something worse. Whenever the footsteps stopped, my bedroom closet door would slowly creak open. Every single time, I thought maybe the floor was uneven or something. Until one night, I tested it. The footsteps started again around 2:40 a.m. I stood beside my closet waiting, and the second the footsteps stopped above me, the closet door slowly opened by itself. That's when I finally complained to the landlord, and his reaction honestly freaked me out more than the noises. He went completely silent. Then he asked me something weird.
You haven't gone upstairs, right?
I asked him what he meant, and he just shook his head and said the apartment above mine was locked permanently. He told me maintenance workers weren't even allowed inside anymore. No explanation. Nothing. That same night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about what he said. Around 3 a.m., the footsteps started again, but this time they sounded different, faster. I grabbed my phone and started recording. You can actually hear part of this in the original video I uploaded before deleting it. The footsteps suddenly stopped above my kitchen. Then I heard something drag across the floor upstairs, like furniture moving, then complete silence. And that's when I heard it. A voice, very faint, directly above me.
Can you hear me?
I froze. I genuinely couldn't move. Then the whisper came again, closer this time.
I know you're awake.
I immediately called the landlord. No answer. I called again, straight to voicemail. At this point, I was honestly considering calling the police. But before I could, someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 knocks, slow, heavy. I looked through the peephole. Nobody there. And that's when I realized something. The knocking didn't come from my front door. It came from above me. I backed away from the door and looked at the ceiling. There was another loud bang upstairs, then another. Dust started falling from the ceiling vent in my hallway, like someone was walking directly over it. Then suddenly the vent cover dropped onto the floor. I remember just staring at the opening, completely dark inside. Then something moved. A hand slowly slid out of the vent, pale, dirty, way too long to look normal. And then I heard the same whisper again. Except now, it was inside my apartment.
Found you.
I ran out of my apartment so fast, I didn't even grab my wallet or keys. I sprinted straight outside into the parking lot, and I swear to God, when I looked up at the 3rd floor window above my apartment, someone was standing there watching me. completely still. I called the police immediately. When officers searched the building, they forced open the apartment above mine, and what they found made no sense. There was nobody inside, no furniture, no food, no signs anyone had lived there for years. But in the middle of the living room floor, there was a massive hole cut into the ground directly above my apartment. One of the officers went down to inspect it, and apparently the hole connected to maintenance crawl spaces between the walls. That's when they discovered something even worse. Someone had been living inside the walls of the building. There were empty food cans, blankets, water bottles, and hundreds of small handwritten notes taped inside the crawl spaces. Most of them just had random dates written repeatedly. But one single note, had my full name written on it over and over again. The police never found whoever was hiding there, and I moved out 2 days later. But about 6 months after I left, I got a message request on Instagram from an account with no profile picture, no posts, no followers. The message only said,
I can still hear you through the ceiling.
I blocked the account immediately, but sometimes late at night, usually around 3 a.m., I still wake up hearing footsteps above my bedroom. Even though now I live on the top floor,